Today's news. Bakhtiar Hajiev sentenced to an additional 5 days of pretrial detention. Ecological and social problems in Baku villages. Inadequate care for diabetes patients. Detention center for illegal immigrants to be built in Baku.
On April 8th, the Ganja City Nizami District Court held a preliminary hearing on the case of youth activist Bakhtiar Hajiev, who is being charged with evading military service. The hearing has been rescheduled for April 19th, reported the activist's lawyer, Alaif Hasanov. Hasanov's two motions, one for the termination of the case, the second for an inquiry to the Constitutional Court for an explanation of the alternative to military service, were both rejected. This trial is not proceeding in line with procedural requirements. Bakhtiar Hajiev's pre-trial detention has been extended for an additional 5 days. This verdict was announced without the participation of the attorneys, said Hasanov. Hasanov also reported that they had objected to the court staff, and this protest was additionally rejected. Private channel ANS-TV was the only media outlet to be allowed to televise the hearing. The criminal case against Bakhtiar Hajiev was begun at the end of January. At that time, he signed a statement of commitment not to leave Ganja City. At the end of February, his pre-trial detention was replaced with release under police bail. On March 4th, Hajiev was sentenced to 1 month's pre-trial detention. It is widely thought that Hajiev was arrested for his activity on social networking sites and his support of the March 11th Great People's Day campaign. Today, the Ecological Diagnostic Centre and the Baku Villagers Union held a press conference to discuss social problems in areas on the outskirts of Baku. Head of the Ecological Diagnostic Centre, Talman Zainalov, said that civil society work on socio-economic problems in the suburbs of the capital had been prompted by a presidential decree on the resolution of these problems. The centre plans to submit a project proposal to the State Council for support of NGOs, the objective of which is to prevent the destruction of natural environment to make room for real estate developments. The deputy head of the Baku Villagers Union, Kanlar Ibrahimov, spoke about unemployment and the destruction of arable areas. He also noted that half of the 376 million manat allocated for socio-economic development in these areas between 2005 and 2008 was misused by government officials. A roundtable was held today to discuss state care for insulin-dependent diabetes patients. The deputy director of the Azerbaijan Diabetes Society, Akif Mukhtarov, began by mentioning that a law protecting insulin-dependent diabetes patients was adopted in 2003, and that a state diabetes program had been approved by the Ministerial Cabinet in 2005. The ADS argues that the 134,000 diabetes patients in Azerbaijan should receive better medical provision, including free insulin, free prescriptions, and free glucometers, which enable sufferers to test their blood sugar levels. The ADS conducted surveys in the regions of Fuzuli, Jabrail and Shamaki, the results of which demonstrated that the majority of patients are unable to access free and timely medical care. There are currently approximately 450,000 foreign citizens and illegal immigrants living in Azerbaijan, announced the head of the State Migration Service, Arzu Rahimov, at a press conference at the ruling party office today. This total includes people who are working, studying or visiting the country, as well as those married to Azerbaijani citizens. The majority of foreigners are Azerbaijanis who have Russian or Georgian citizenship. Turkish and Iranian citizens are the second biggest group. The people coming to Azerbaijan from these four countries make up 80% of the total number of foreigners in the country. The other 20% are citizens of the US, the UK, CIS countries and others, said Rahimov. Last year, about 10,000 labour migrants obtained residency permits. According to Rahimov, employers are required to provide good reasons for recruiting foreign employees. Labour migrants constitute about 25% of the total number of foreigners. However, Rahimov failed to address the issue of illegal immigration, excusing himself on the ground that statistics are very difficult to obtain. He did say that in the past month, administrative measures have been taken against about 700 foreigners guilty of violating Azerbaijani law. Rahimov also spoke about the construction of a temporary detention center to house illegal immigrants and said that a similar center is planned for Baku.